notice on the title of this thing, I put shift/crash. What does that mean? It means that it's shifting what you do and it's going to direct you in a positive way to a new direction of abundance, or it's going to crash your world and things are going to come crumbling down as you know it. And I'm going to connect with you for a little bit on my life stories that I went through, because my heart truly does go out to those of you that are crashing, and help get this message out, because this message is going to help somebody out there that's crying right now and praying to God for a way to be able to figure out what they're going to do. Okay, I know exactly how those people feel because I've been there. I've been through the sleepless, crying, uncertainty nights and just stresses of not knowing where tomorrow was going to come from. I'm 52 years old today, so I want to take you back through the crashes that I went through, what it was like going through them, how I was able to come out on the other side, where it left me, how I was able to recover from them, and why this time I have no fear. I'm not worried about it. I don't have stresses. I'm not concerned. And the reason why is because I've learned how to handle it. And it's evolved to make me who I am today. It gave me all my life lessons of how to overcome things and get through adversity and how to be creative and how to understand how money doesn't disappear, it moves, how it shifts. So when the crash of 92 came, it was an uproar and I freaked out. I was young in business. I didn't know what I was going to do. And I made it through the crash of 92 untouched. It didn't touch me. And because I was in the salon industry, I thought I was recession proof. I thought, oh my gosh, isn't this amazing that people don't go bald when they go broke? This is phenomenal. And I thought, oh, I got this. And then I get to 08. Okay. So by that time, we're on our fifth salon. Our fifth salon is being built. We're doing $3 million a year. We're 100% debt free. We have 16,000 clients. We're $100 for men's haircut, $200 for women. It's nothing for somebody to drop $500 to get their hair cut and highlighted with us. We have 6-figure earner employees working for us. Today, some of the best stylists are out there in the world, very famous and very established in the world from my training. It was nothing to wait 6 weeks to get an appointment with us. We were even in the top 100 fastest growing salons in the country, you guys. And to know that is a big deal, especially with what type of salon we were. We were an apprenticeship salon, which meant that I trained every single one of my hairdressers. They didn't go to beauty school. So I trained people and they had to fry hair and give bad haircuts, and we were still in the top 100 fastest growing salons in the country. And I'll share with you how that happened and why we were able to get there in just a minute. Okay, so then came the crash of 08, and boy, did it rock our world. And let me tell you why we made it through the crash of 92. The crash of 92, it hit the upper class and I catered to the middle class. So then came the crash of 08, and we were one of the very first people to be hit. And we couldn't short sell our homes because it hadn't been invented yet. It wasn't a thing yet. Short selling came after people like us got hit. Now, why did we get hit first? Because our clients were the investors. They were the ones that were investing into the stock market and the real estate market. And so when the crash came, immediately they hit our clientele. And so our clientele started cutting back. You guys, when the crash of 08 came, you would not catch one of our clients dead in a Vietnamese nail salon because you were cheap if you went to a Vietnamese nail salon. Oh, honey, I would never go get my nails done in those places. That's the way people talked about it back then. Boy, when the crash came, where did they all go? They all went to the Vietnamese nail salons, and today that's where you find them every day, right? Because when a crash comes, it shifts the way money moves. It shifts the way business is done. Now, what's happening in the world today is it's simply shifting the way business is being done. So back in 08, when the crash came and I was like, what am I gonna do? I've got $150,000 a month overhead. I've got all these locations and all these employees. And I started doing what a lot of people in the world are now gonna start doing: cutting back, downsizing, and laying off. So yesterday I went to meet some friends for breakfast down in a very popular area of San Diego. And we went to a very popular restaurant. It was already closed. We went to the one next to it that was very popular. It was already closed. We had to go down the street till we finally found a restaurant that was open. And it was crickets. There was one other table in the restaurant aside for us, and the owner was bussing the table. That's the signs of when you know that they're on their way out of business, is when the owners are behind the counter and doing the work. They're not taking a paycheck. They're working from open to close. They're working the hardest days of their life, trying to spin plates and hang on. Okay. They're cutting back as fast as they can. I know the whole thing. My heart goes out to every single one of those people. So as the trickle down happens, people have to get laid off. Businesses are laying off their most valuable, their most prized employees, not because they want to, not because they're not good employees. It's because they have to. They're trying to hang on to the last thing that they have. The owners have to lose everything before they can get out from underneath it, where an employee can just move on. Okay, so remember that as people are going through what they're going through out there in the world today, because it's tough times out there for a lot of people. However, what is also going to happen during these times is new millionaires are going to be born. The new inventions are going to happen. The millennials are going to take over our world with all of their genius ideas that they've had for the past 10 years that the elder generation didn't want to allow in. It's now time for that. And you guys, the way that the world was just a month ago is not going to be the way it is again. It's the next 90 days. I know what's going to happen. Most people were already living paycheck to paycheck. So to go another paycheck with no paycheck, it's sad. I live in a very, very high-end apartment community, and I know for a fact people are losing their jobs. A couple people that I went to lunch with the other day had already been laid off. They were going to go file for welfare and unemployment and food stamps and do what they could to get a jump on what they were facing, because they didn't know what it was they were going to be able to do. All they knew is that they were stressed out, overwhelmed, hopeless, and helpless. Okay, that's what's happening out there right now with a lot of people. And my heart aches for those people because I was there. I've gone through that. And you guys, I want you to know, number one, you're going to be okay. Look at me. I am alive and well. It did not kill me. It made me stronger. Let's see. Okay, maybe not. It made me stronger. It made me wiser. It gave me lenses, and it molded me and developed me into who I am today. Okay? In the crash of '08 in my salon world, by the time the crash came, it was only about 90 days when I knew I wasn't going to be able to dig out of my hole, and I was crying myself to sleep at night, praying to God for a way to get out of my current situation. Now, you guys, on the side of that, I had a local businessman who had been driving me crazy for 4 months to take a look at a business opportunity that I kept turning him away. I kept thinking he was trying to pitch me a scam or pitch. It has a lot to do with because he didn't have integrity with me. I didn't think very highly of him because he was bugging me. He was driving me crazy. He was a local businessman. He wasn't my client. If he would have got smart and came in and got a $100 haircut, I would have gave him time, right? A little tip there for you guys. So meanwhile, I'm praying every night, crying myself to sleep. We're selling things off as fast as we can. We're getting rid of the boats and the cars and everything. It's just going. Couldn't sell homes because the market was crashing, but the real estate was sitting on the market forever, which is what's happening now. You guys, I have clients in all fields, all industries. There's not an industry that I have found that I do not have a client in. And I have a lot of real estate clients, a lot of real estate teams sharing the same story. Our clients are not selling and not buying right now. They're going to hang on to see what happens with the economy over the next few months. Well, that's enough to put somebody out of business right there if you're not a huge big-time realtor or had investments to carry you through this or had multiple streams of incomes for your backup plan, okay? And so the crash of '08 came. I'm crying. I'm praying to God. I'm like, what am I going to do? That Sunday in church, the pastor tells a story about the big flood, okay? He says how there's a big flood and they try and send help to save the people and they didn't want to listen. They didn't want to get rescued. They sent a boat to try and rescue them. Then they sent a plane, with you got to evacuate, you got to evacuate. Then they dropped a guy on a helicopter to come rescue him, and they didn't want to leave. They said, no, we have faith that God's going to save us. And then they drown, they die, they go to heaven, and they said, God, why didn't you save us? We believed in you. Why didn't you save us? And he said, my son, who do you think sent the boat, the plane, and the helicopter? And I heard that story. That next Tuesday, I'm sitting at my desk in my office, overwhelmed with stress. I get a call from the bank that I'm $20,000 overdrawn in my payroll account. And that was the day that the banking markets crashed and no more $100,000 credit lines, which was one that I had. Okay. They pulled back all the credit lines and they said, sorry, Darla, we can't cover your payroll. And I was like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? And I look up on my camera monitors, and what I used to jokingly call my stalker is in my lobby that day. And the little voice spoke to me and said, Darla, why won't you listen? And I was like, I was going to kick him out of the salon one more time. And I was going to tell him, you picked the worst day ever to come down and try and pitch me your little scam. Because my ignorance and my incompetent mindset, my perceptive mindset painted a negative, false reality in what he was trying to tell me. And the little voice saved my life, because the little voice made me listen. And I said to my husband, I said, I'm going to give him 30 minutes. And I had already brainwashed my husband and convinced him that he was trying to pitch me a scam. When I told my husband that I was going to give him 30 minutes, he was like, what are you talking about? Not today. We got to figure out how to get out of this mess and cover payroll. That's the last thing you need to be doing. And I said, I know, but something's telling me I need to go listen. That decision went on to change our family's life forever. What I did is I opened my mind to a new possibility that was not anything I ever in my wildest dreams thought that I would be doing. I did not ever think I would be out of the salon industry, you guys. I had been in that industry I had had my salons for 19 years. I had made millions of dollars and established a very credible name and reinvented the salon industry. I was going nowhere but up. That was my dream. That was my legacy I was building for my daughter. But it wasn't in my control. Do you get what I'm saying? And so because I opened my mind to a new possibility and I took a blind leap of faith and I grabbed on to somebody that was called a mentor that said, if you'll trust me, I'll teach you. I'll help you dig your way out of your current situation. And my mind was smart enough to know that if he wasn't any special skilled graduate of anything, no degrees, no tests needed, no nothing, he's not in jail. He's been doing it for over a decade. He's got friends that have been doing it for decades and they've made millions of dollars. I know I could do it too. And I hung on through the hardest days of my life. And it wasn't the hardest days financially, because I went on to make my first $1 million back in life in that industry in 3 years. Retired my family, never stepped foot into a job or a business that owned me ever again. Became free, okay? The hardest days of my life were the emotional game that I had to go through to reinvent this thing up here, because fear and doubt and skepticism and false perception owned this thing up here. I did not know what I was doing. I was being told by all these people out here that I was crazy. Those things don't work. How can you do something like that? I heard it all, okay? But what I did is I didn't let go, and I trusted in that little voice that said, trust me, just take a leap of faith. And I did. I wrote a hot check on March 26th of 2008. And when I say hot, it means that I didn't have the money in the bank to cover it. That check cost me $720. That's what I wrote that check for. I figured out a way to cover that check. It cost $35 at the bank. But I covered that check. And that check, that decision, along with the decisions to never quit and the knowledge to hire a mentor and a trainer to take me emotionally through it and to teach me the steps and to not quit, that I would get there. because I knew if there was already a proven system that somebody else had done before me, that I could do it. So that's what the crashes did to my world. The worst days of my life were the best answer to my prayers. They gave me my life back. They allowed me to raise my own child. It's allowed me to be a present parent. It's allowed me to travel the world. I wouldn't be living in San Diego. I wouldn't have traveled the world. We went on a 1-year vacation. Jim, myself, Bella, homeschool for 1 year in a $1 million home on wheels, like you see on MTV Cribs, those guys, or those big celebrity shows where they travel around. We did that for 1 year when we set ourselves free. I truly now have a respect for gypsies. They're the ones that understand freedom because they're not tied down to a city or a state or a county or a boss. They're not owned by somebody else. They own their own life. In the last 48 hours, I've had 17 phone calls inbound of people calling me saying, Darla, what am I gonna do? How do I get out of this situation? My world just fell out from below me. I've got laid off. My customers are canceling their events. They're canceling their shows. They're canceling their appointments. How do I get out of it? That's okay. I got you. Let me teach you what to do. And that's what I do, you guys. Okay. I have been teaching people for years how to reinvent their mindset, how to reinvent their economy, and how to grow a new network that is loyal to them. In the end of the day, they're a network of people that know you, love you, and like you. Someone called me the other day, said that you're a serial entrepreneur. I loved that. I'm a serial entrepreneur. I am. You know why? Because I understand multiple streams of income and residual leveraged income. I have units of distribution all over the world that pay me money through different streams. And that allows for today to remove fear if something happens, you know, because there's not just one thing to lean back on. So many of you know that I am also in a company called Send Out Cards. Send Out Cards is the absolute foundation to my life. And I'm going to explain to you why. You guys see all these cards all around me. I'm surrounded in cards. Okay, these cards are all from Send Out Cards. This is a card from the CFO and the CVO of the company Send Out Cards. Take a screenshot of that and read what it says. You know, these awards are from Send Out Cards. Why is Send Out Cards the core of my life? Because I want you to stop and think about what a network is. A network is a group of people. What is happening in our world today is people are becoming isolated. Go home and don't touch anyone. Don't shake a hand. Don't give a cough. Don't give a hug. Don't touch anyone. Stay 6 feet apart. If you are in business, the number one most important asset in your business are your customers, are the people where money flow through. The customers that tell their friends about you, the customers that become your friend, the friends that show up when you need someone and something, the friends that invite you to dinner, that introduce you to new people, and the friends that show you love, the ones that want to breathe life into what it is that you do, okay? That is what we all thrive and we search for every single day. Now, let me take you back to the crash of 92, and I made it through the crash of 92. Do you know why I made it through the crash of 92? Because of something that I did when I was a little girl. I read the Guinness Book of World's Record. I read it all the time. I tried every idea I thought of to try and get in the Guinness Book of World's Record. And just so you know, I never got in the Guinness Book of World's Record. But there was a story in the Guinness Book of World's Record that I implemented into my salon world that brought me my fame, my wealth, my clientele, my 16,000 loyal, long-standing, referring clients that stuck with me from beauty school all the way through the whole journey of 19 years, sending their entire families with me, flying from other states, from Alaska and Florida and other places, driving in their limousines, coming in from crazy places every month to get their hair done. very famous people. And how did I do it? Because of a story that I read in the Guinness Book of World Record from the #1 salesman, who happened to be a car salesman, Joe Girard. And his claim to fame was he sent all of his customers cards. He would send thank you for your business cards, happy birthday cards, haven't seen you in a while cards. He would send cards to the kids. He would send anniversary cards. He would celebrate the cars. He knew how to build heartfelt relationships. If you're in sales or in life, in business, you know that nothing matters more than the relationships. The book, How to Win Friends and Influence People, everybody in sales has read. The faster you can create an emotional connection with another human being, the faster you tap into the riches of relationships. The riches are opportunities, referrals, friends, and love. Nothing matters outside those 4 things. Think about that. Opportunities, referrals, friends, and love. And what's on the other side of each one? Human beings, 2 relationships. Somebody that liked you and cared about you enough to send you the referral. Somebody that liked you and cared about you enough to give you their VIP box tickets because they couldn't use them that night. Somebody that's going to think of you when they think of the need of something or the kindness or who they want to be around. Okay, that's getting from the back of the head to the front of the head, down into the center of the heart and staying there. Now, what happened to me when my salons grew and got bigger and bigger and bigger? We had mail rooms in each salon. We used to send thousands of cards a month. Employees, that was their only job. Then the stylists, it was their job to send cards to every single one of their employees or every single one of their customers. We sent them, it was part of our protocol. And then email was born. And we went with the rest of the world on email. And we removed the personal touch. So I want to show you a card that I got from a 30-year-old realtor. I will never forget who he is. And I have already tagged him, posted him, promoted him, and edified him to my network and shouted out to him, and I will forever, because of one move that he did. He got from my head to my heart. Look at this card, okay? Comes in an envelope. The front of the card says delight, the definition of delight. It's got a picture of us on the top of it. It's not a great picture, but it's a wow, that's a picture of us. It's a him saying, remember me. Look what he wrote inside. Meeting you was such a delight. I hope to see you again soon. Thanks for the interview and the great information you shared. Dan Capra, a realtor out of Boston, okay? You in Boston, you need a good realtor? Here's what I can tell you. He's gonna take care of you. He's gonna treat you special. He's gonna make sure you know how much he cares about you. He's gonna love on you for the rest of his life and your life, because he's got a system. He's got a system in place that allows him to love on people. He made that card while sitting in the room from an app on his phone. He hit send and it landed up in my mailbox and went straight into my heart and released a shot of dopamine to my brain and made me remember him forever. If you're in business, you need this system. You need to love on your clients. Not email blasts with self-promotion. These are not self-promotions. This is not a self-promotion. My best friend, Elaine, for our 16-year wedding anniversary, all 16 years of our life, do you think that I'm ever gonna throw this away? Is this a card or is this a gift that lasts forever? This is the way to get into the heart of people and stay remembered. And in the world today, we need ways to love people without touching them. And a post on Facebook or Instagram is gone in a social media second. It's not passed down from generation to generation. This is my wall of things of my husband and I. You should see my daughters. Our daughters is filled with all kinds of cards all about her and how special she is and wonderful she is. Do you know what that does for a child? You guys, it's about the system. Okay, so I talked about the crash, how in your world, it's gonna be known as the shift or the crash. Do you have a victim mindset or an opportunist mindset? Do your lenses need to be changed so that you can seek opportunity? If they do, here's what I want you to do. I know for a fact that my course, that I've built is what you need. You need a coach. You need a mentor. You need somebody that's going to emotionally and mentally take you through the reinvention of your mind, through the skeptics, the naysayers, the ignorance, and the misinformed, the old me's. You need somebody to do that, to reinvent your mind, to teach you how money is made so that you don't have to work for it. You can create it and to get it working for you, to teach you how the art of building relationships. The name of my course is MAC, M-A-H-C, which stands for Master the Art of Human Connections. Master the Art of Human Connections. When you learn how to master the art of human connections, you tap into the riches of relationships. Those riches are opportunities, referrals, friends, and love. I'm telling you, you guys, this investment that you would make into yourself is going to be the most valuable thing that you've ever invested in. Do you get it? Because you're investing in this, and this is what creates your future. Okay? We're all born the same way. We're born naked, knowing nothing, and afraid. Okay? We get slapped on the butt, and the first thing we do is cry. Then we figure out how to eat. Then we get programmed by our parents and society and teachers and the people we hang around with. Get it? It's time to get deprogrammed, because most people were raised like I was, okay? Money doesn't grow on trees. If it's too good to be true, you better run the other way. We raise our daughter differently. Money does grow on trees. Let us teach you how to plant the seeds, okay? Seeds are people. That's where money comes from. If it's too good to be true, you better sit down and pay attention, take notes, and get all the information that you can. We teach entrepreneur opportunity mindset. And that's what I want to teach you. You guys, I am going to give my course. I'm going to give it at 50% off to help as many people as I can get through this crash. There's over 100 courses in my program. Whether you're already in a network marketing company or in a direct sales company or in business or not, whether you're a stay-at-home mom, whether you're already an entrepreneur, I'm telling you, I have 100% success rate with all the people that have gone through the course, because they learn how to tap into this. They learn how to raise their vibrational frequency into the state of abundance. They learn how to remove stress out of their life. They learned how to change the lenses in their eyes so they can see opportunity when it's before them. They learn how to release fear, conquer fear, get on the other side of the things that have held them back. And they have my help every step of the way. I've worked hard for over a decade building this program for these times. I didn't know a month ago when I was in Vegas and I invested all that money into the largest investment I've ever made on myself, to hire coaches and to hire trainers and mentors, that it was going to be for this moment right here to take myself to a higher level. I didn't know that, you guys, but that's the way the universe works. I promise you, when you learn to get yourself into an abundant vibrational frequency, you attract the things you think about. You attract things into your life that you want. But first you got to learn how to get there, and you need somebody to help you, or you stay stuck. Fear holds you back because you can only teach yourself what you already know. And so I want to share a story with you. When you send a card out to somebody to say, I appreciate you, it was nice to meet you, I haven't seen you in a while, I'm sorry for the tough times that you're going through, I want to let you know I'm praying about you, my heart goes out to you for the times that you're going through right now. Or what about to the kid that you want to inspire and motivate, because the children of today are now going to become even more isolated than they already were, and more depressed than they ever were. And nothing beats depression faster than love, you guys. Loving on people with these cards, sending a piece of your heart on a card out to the world. It's called the law of reciprocity. It's biblical. Treat others, treat the world the way that you wish it to treat you in return, and it will. Get back with the person that has been trying to show you send out cards. I only want to sign you up if you have never been presented with send out cards, or if you've been watching me and I presented it to you and nobody else has. I will teach you. What I want more than anything is I want you to let me coach you, which invests in you. You have to pay money. You have to. You have to pay a lot of money. The more money that you pay, the more you'll show up and the more you'll gain from your investment. If it's free, you don't show up. The amount of money that I paid to take the course that I'm going through is rising me out of bed at the crack of dawn. It's keeping me home. It's keeping me focused. I'm studying. I'm doing homework. I've not studied this hard in my life because this chick don't study. I don't study well. I don't do school. But I'm doing this because of the money that I paid and what I'm gaining from it, the knowledge that I'm giving to take myself to the higher level. Invest in yourself. Take yourself to the higher level. I will give you 50% off, but you got to make that investment into yourself. And I'm not posting the 50% on my website. You have to ask me for it. Ask me for the 50% and I will give it to you. Reach out to me, send me a message or call me. My website is darlad.com. darlad.com. Go look at the MAC course, or I'll drop it down below. Send me a message. I'll send you a direct link to the course. But do it, and do it today, you guys, because you've got to start reinventing, start digging, start learning, start overcoming, and start believing, and start acting today, not tomorrow, not next week, not next month, not 2 months from now, because I promise you it's not going to get better. And when it does get better, the world as you knew it, done. It's a completely different world that we're going to live in. Face it, head on, and don't be a victim. Don't be a victim. All right, you guys, I hope my story inspired you in some sort of way and gave you a little bit of hope to realize you're going to be okay. Love you. Bye.